The FTA issued public clarification reference, TAXP006, to clarify certain aspects related to the implementation of Cabinet Decision No. 74 of 2023 on the Executive Regulation of Federal Decree Law No. 28 of 2022 on tax procedures. Effective date. The new executive regulation shall be published in the official Gazette and come into effect on August 1, 2023, except for the provisions relating to the conditions for registering juridical tax agents, which comes into effect on December 1, 2023. The summary of major changes in the new executive regulation is: the definition of the term assets has been expanded to include intangible assets. In addition to the records and books of the business, businesses must also retain all documents that support entries in the accounting records and commercial books of the business. For real estate records, the retention period is 7 years from the end of the calendar year in which such record or document was created. The general document retention period of 5 years will be extended by 1 year starting from the date of submission of a voluntary disclosure in the 5th year, from the end of the relevant tax period. Legal representatives are required to retain the required books and records of the person they are representing for a period of 1 year, from the date on which such legal representation ends. The FTA may now accept the tax return, data, information, records, and any other documents related to tax to be submitted in English or Arabic. The list of instances is expanded, in which registrants are required to notify the FTA of changes to their business data. FTA at its discretion, but in accordance with the relevant tax law, deregister a registrant where the person is required to deregister for a specific tax type but fails to submit a deregistration application. Licensing bodies in the UAE must now also notify the FTA within 20 business days of any issuance or renewal of a number of data regarding the license. If a taxpayer becomes aware of an error or omission in a tax return submitted to the FTA that did not impact on the due tax for that tax period, the person is required to submit a voluntary disclosure to rectify the error. The means of notification by the FTA towards a person now also includes text messages on mobile phones, notifications through smart applications, and notifications through the FTA's electronic systems. It is no longer a requirement for the tax agent to A. Be able to communicate in both Arabic and English, as fluency in either of these languages is acceptable. B. Submit proof that the person is medically fit to perform the duties of the profession. The concept of a juridical person tax agent has been added in the UAE tax legislation. The new executive regulation stated detailed procedures for listing and delisting tax agents. The new obligations are added for tax agents. The FTA is now required to give a person at least 10 business days notice before conducting a tax audit. The new reconciliation application process is explained for tax evasion crimes and the deliberate failure to settle administrative penalties. The extension of deadlines by the authority in certain cases are explained. The FTA shall notify the appointed bankruptcy trustee of the amount of the due tax in respect of the business subject to bankruptcy.